You won't need it to stay warm. You're so afraid of my affections. You could drown in your own storm. There's no need for reservation. No one else can see. After some examination, man, I think that you've got what I need. It's really alright. It's really alright. It's really alright if you don't love me. What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, that cold-hearted landscape or me? What's that look of consternation? I'm completely in control. So if you're thinking of evasion, there's something you should know. Well, I wouldn't say I own you, but you're a lover without liberty. Which would you rather face, a cold-hearted landscape or me? Okay, good afternoon. What time is it? 12:32. Well, I made it. I wasn't sure how long it would take to get here, but alright, before I get started on my purse, I want to show you something that's really important to know if you want to get into wet felting versus needle felting. Now, I ordered a bunch of wool from Temu. I ordered individual colors from a seller from whom I already purchased some wool, and it really was wool. But when it arrived, all of it was wool except for this color, which was packed separately in a weird bag. And I took one look at it and went, uh-oh. And sure enough, I gave it a test. Now, one of the things you know about synthetics, they are doing a beautiful job. This is great for needle felting, but it will not wet felt without a lot of help. So here is an example right here. I used the same amount of wool in all three samples. This little ball is just pure wool. Little pinch of white, little pinch of this blue, but it's both of them are real wool. This is 50% real wool and 50% this sample. As you can see, it did not felt down very well. Matter of fact, it dried really quickly. And I mean, I can make this felt a little bit more. Technically, I guess it is felted, but it is not a great felting job. This is the plain fiber by itself, and after more attempts to felt, longer than I did these two, it still shed the water immediately. And the only reason this has any knots in it at all is because I carded it until it kind of knotted up a little. So it does make a difference depending on the kind of felting you want to do. So do I have to throw this away? No. Is it useful to me? Not really. I'm going to end up giving it to my friends who are into needle felting and are still learning, and they could use a little extra fiber that they didn't have to pay for, and feel free to waste it. Because you hate wasting stuff you just put money out for. But although it's, like I said, it's useless to me, I really just do needle felting to follow up on the wet felting. Like, you know, add trim and things like that, which we're going to see when we get to that. But right now what we're doing is I created a mold for my purse. Now usually, like my first purse, I just used a piece of Mylar, just, you know, a piece of plastic. Transparent and flexible, it has a lot to go for it. But I needed something after working with that, my first one. It wasn't wide enough, even after I stretched it out a bit. And if you stretch it too much, you're going to lose strength, which you don't want to do. So, not in the purse, right? You don't want to be walking around and have your wallet or your pen just make a hole and fall to the sidewalk. So, so far my biggest challenge was making sure that the knots on the end of the rope I made for that were big enough not to get pulled out. So I will go back and look that over. I might put a few stitches in to keep it in place. But right now it held up really well. I walked all over Mystic, Connecticut, and didn't lose my purse. So this is going to be the same style, basically. This up here is going to be the flap. So one side is getting covered all the way, and the other side is only getting covered up to here. So we're going to have like a little bit of a saddle bag, I guess. Well, not really, because I'm not making a curve in it. I'd like to do that next, but for now, I want a very specific style. A reminder, first of all, I'm not the greatest at pulling. But I'm getting better. You want really thin layers to start, because the thinner they are, the easier they will knit themselves together. We need a little to roll over the sides for strength and continuity. Wrap around it. Now, people who do this all day are real fast at this. I wish I was doing this every day, but unfortunately, I don't have any family helpers to help with the cleaning and laundry, so I must take days off of play for other aspects of life. Also, I'm really fond of eating. I like to cook healthy meals. And I don't like running to the edge of my time so that I'm so hungry I don't really want to cook. I just want to put something together fast. Because that's when I'm more likely to reach for French fries and a sausage rather than cook something that's not processed at all. Here we go. Just put that in further. Okay, so when you're laying out your wool, you want to remember thin layers overlap, but you are long too. There's one thing about the merino, it's got a very long staple, long fiber. Sometimes you're going to end up with long. Okay. Now the only disadvantage I really see with using this kind of a mold is it's not transparent. I do like that because you can hold up your plastic little disc or whatever you're doing, and you can see where there's holes in the wool that you need to fill in. We're going to have to be a little bit more touchy-feely and feel what is thinner. Now that I have been improving. Now I watch those people over at Living Felt, and oh, the woman that owns it, and I suck at names, but she's a wonderful teacher, and she's boom, 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 you know, she's got this down. But it's better to just relax when you're doing it. So this is not a contest. It's about enjoying the whole process of creating something for yourself or for friends. Naturally, I've already given away stuff I've made because that's me, but this time, with this particular hobby, I'm actually focusing on me, my wardrobe, what I want to do to spruce up my life and style. And what I'm hoping to do is inspire others to do the same, so we are a little bit less reliant on other people to provide what they believe is fashion. And we turn inward a little bit more and decide, I like this, I feel good wearing this, I prefer these colors, not just what they made this dress in. Like, I remember being down south, and my ex and I were pretty broke, living on the farm. We ate until the last years when he wasn't working at all. But he liked the fresh food life. There was a point I was making and I got lost in my fiber. I'll remember. Down on the farm. Making things. Go back to that. When we were down on the farm and broke, we had to shop at Walmart. Not because we wanted to, but because it was pretty much the only game in town that we could afford. And to be honest, some of the places they had for clothes, they were like old lady clothes from the 50s. I don't know what it was, but... And then in Walmart, it seemed like we had the year of combat fatigues. No war going on, but suddenly everybody is in camo. And then, which I understand what camo is for, you know, because I'm surrounded by hunters. What I didn't understand was when they started making camo in pink and gray and other colors that were not about actual camouflage. It's not a real attractive pattern. It's not meant to be. It's meant to hide you in an area with similar lighting, so you look like you just blend in with the landscape. And believe me, pink does not blend in with the North Carolina landscape. But it also is just, I don't like the pattern. And it seemed that year, everything was in that pattern. Everywhere I looked, in the grocery store, people are wearing weird camo. Little kids in camo. Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Don't they have any sense of what looks good? I mean, I'm not saying go out there and be a fashion plate. We're on the farm. But it was definitely boring. And I really like the idea of having things to wear or to accent what I have that nobody else has. I've never been vain about that. I've never tried to stand out that way, except on stage. You do have to stand out for that. But in, you know, your average going grocery shopping day, I'm not looking for an excuse to wear my fancy stuff. But I do like fun and whimsical things, and I'm looking forward to wearing some of my frou-frou hats this summer, just because. I realized that becoming an old lady, yeah, it's got its disadvantages. You're old. There are things that are harder to do, things that are less desirable to do, too. But there is a freedom when you get older, when you realize you don't have to impress anybody anymore. You're not out there trying to impress a future mate, lover, job. It's just you. And you realize you have to make yourself happy because nobody else can do that. And then you stop caring about what other people think, about what you're wearing, or how you speak. I like being here. I'm not saying I use my age as an excuse to be rude. I would not do that. As a matter of fact, I really don't use my age for anything if I can avoid it. But it's just become clear, you know, after decade on this planet. You look at things and you go, hey, I've been there, done that. I remember what that was like. Glad I'm not young anymore. In so many ways, being young sucks. You're still figuring things out. There's not a whole bunch of smart people around you to explain things. And it seems like stupid is really the way of the day. So I feel for you young people. I grew up at least respecting my teachers, because they definitely knew a lot more than me. And I had real honest teachers too, who didn't go along with the syllabus if they didn't want. I mean, they did what they had to, but they also added college-level educational facts to our learning. They say, well, this is not part of the syllabus, but this also happened in history, and you should know. So I was very lucky. I had some good teachers along the way. And a good teacher is worth their weight in gold. Do you ever have a teacher that after you left school you still stayed in touch? I had a home ec teacher. She was the first person to give up on me in despair over my lack of sewing ability. But I did enjoy the other classes that she gave. Helen Cobley from Trapping Junior High School, long gone, but we maintained a written correspondence for years. She lived on an actual farm, but we met in suburbia where she taught. And I just loved her gentle approach to life. And the fact that she lived on a farm, oh, that was something I wanted badly as a city kid. It's all I could dream about. The day I could retire, not retire from life, but to retire to a farm where I could grow things and have animals and all that fun and hard work, but to me very rewarding. I don't remember finding out how she passed, because those were the years way before internet. Probably at some point I was able to connect with an obituary. I think that Helen Cobley would be proud of me. I did learn to finally make something besides food in the kitchen. Now after I wet it, it'll be easier to see the holes, and I can add fiber at that point. Now if you are learning about felting and that has caught your interest, I would recommend going to Living Felt here on YouTube, and Serafina, I don't remember, I know I'm terrible, I remember Serafina, it's a beautiful name, but I can't remember if it's Serafina Yarns or Yarn Art, something like that. But if you look for Serafina and Art and Yarn, you'll probably find her. Both the sites are excellent. They have amazing teachers. Anything you want to learn about felting, wet or needle, they are two websites you can trust. Also, they sell the wool roving like I'm using. I think it's a very affordable price after looking all over the internet at about $3.50 an ounce. Time to come back the other way. Now, as we're going to go around here, we're going to change the direction of the wool a little bit to add to the strength. This purse is going to be for a pink dress. So I've already picked out the yarns that we're going to be using for color and decoration. Very thin right there. Unfortunately, I did not make all of the top black. I used black tape to hold them all together. Okay. And now I start back across here. Man, I wish I knew about this when I was a teenager. then it probably would have changed my path. Then again, all paths most paths are kind of exciting to explore. So soft. So we have some wild weather across the country. I don't know how the rest of the world is doing right now, but the United States, including Hawaii, has their hands full right now. We right now have a gorgeous day. Yesterday was similarly gorgeous. And then somewhere along the line this morning, I came across a report suggesting that snow was coming. Now I know that can happen in April. I witnessed it years ago, delayed the delivery of my birthday piano. For some reason, after I guess all this heat and stuff, I wasn't expecting snow. That's strange. Now, while this purse is all about matching a dress, a specific dress, I have some absolutely stunning llama wool. I need to get some wool to work it with because llama wool is not that easy to felt. It does felt, but it takes a lot longer. Not the thing I like to hear. But it has exceptional strength and it is gorgeous, beautiful sheen. And I've been looking forward to just experimenting with different fibers. I got a couple of people here excited enough about this to get excited about going and checking out a wool festival. I think there may be one this month in our state. Just depends on how far it is because my friends have some disabilities that interfere with some kinds of travel. without, please. I don't want you to be lumpy. I want you to be wispy. I need another wisp. All right. Well, now we're going to see how well we did. Suck up some soapy water. Yeah, there we go. You can see it. Okay, let's get this safely out of the way for a minute. Uh-oh, wait a second. I had a friend use this the other day when I showed her how to do wet felting. And there's some leftover color from her project here. We don't want that. Now you can't go by color because it's very deceptive. I've got black and white underneath here, but I can go by feel, and it feels overall pretty even except for the edges. We're going to have to thicken up. It sounds like someone's outside my door. This is not a convenient time. Okay, the first moves are very gentle because you don't want to do any premature felting, I guess. You're tearing it apart while it's trying to felt. So what do you need for felting? You need your fiber, preferably a wool, which will handle faster than something more difficult to felt. Wool has a natural elasticity and a texture that helps it combine with itself. But all you need is water and pressure. I made my samples to test what was real wool and what wasn't, with a few pinches of each wool and fake wool, and just plain water, and just doing this. It's kind of like rolling a rubber cement ball. Or if you were my little neighbor who played with her snot. Okay, so we have this side from here up is the flap. We don't need that on both sides. So here is where we're going to be focusing. Okay, let me see what it says. Now this is going to be the bottom of the bag. I am going to want that to be extra strong, for obvious reasons. But we'll be taking care of that in a couple of different ways. When I do the ornamentation on the outside, I have some interesting materials that are synthetic that will be done in a kind of a wraparound, because they're way strong and unwilling to bend. Yep, my hands do not have even pull. We have to do the same thing a couple of times sometimes. Oops. Went too far. Back over here. Yeah. Straighten out. Okay, there's my line right there. Don't cross it. And we crossed it a little bit so I can overlap it when I'm making the edges stronger. difficult, aren't you? I don't want this to be very strongly reinforced. Along the bottom here, the sides. Like building a cat. Stand up and see how we're covering the bottom there. Sorry, am I being in the way of the camera? Alright, let's see where we are before I add more. I need to bring some more down the sides. Okay. Not very much. Scissors. There you are. Okay. Time for the next layer on this. Oops. Okay. Now I can see where I need to strengthen. And I believe this is waiting for its next layer. The nice thing about felt bags, no matter how thick you make them, unless you start adding heavy stuff, it doesn't really weigh anything. When it's all done and dried, it's like, cool. It's getting hot in here. Actually, it looks like it's starting to cloud up for a storm. Hold on a second. 59 degrees. Must be high humidity. Oh, we're expecting rain. Okay. I think that, let's see if we turn this off. That's wispy. Hmm. So I'm just making sounds. Oh, how there you are. Aloha. Yeah, it's still early for you. Those are some dramatic skies you have in Hawaii. Yeah, I saw some of the reports. Devastating. Do they have power? All right, let's see how we're doing. Why is that weird? You've known her for a long time. You're often on the same wavelength. You guys have been working with each other for centuries. Don't be so surprised. Isn't that nice? See how it works? So what was it? Oh, there's a black hair. And this stuff felt so nicely. I'm so impressed with it. Okay, we need to make things stronger. I can feel it. Flap is alright, but we have to have a better connection. Alright. Excelente. Let me fix. I can't read everything. Let me fix this thing. It's cutting off part of my chat here. There we go. She said she was happy to talk to someone. I think I was talking too much. Really? You think you were talking too much? Next time, let her talk more. She was enjoying talking with you. She can obviously relate to you in a way she can't to her own boyfriend. That's what friends are for. It's also why women like gay men. Somebody to talk to. It isn't after their body. Okay. Tweezers. Oh, don't go anywhere with the phone. I can't touch you when I'm all wet like this. What kind of edibles? I have some dark chocolate for nighttime and pina colada gummies for daytime. Damn, they are good. I will say that. You don't really feel buzzed of the daytime one. You just feel like calm and flowy. Which I like. Because I can do that and just do everything in the real world without complications. Oh, those are good. Are they the ones that look like little raspberries? Like flat raspberries? I think raspberry gummies were the very first ones I tried. Of course, you know, the flavor just depends on the brand. It doesn't tell you what the dose is. Yay. Glad you got some good stuff. She sure is a good friend. But so are you. I'm sure with Scott spending more time sitting and laying down than standing up and doing anything, the TV you gave them is much appreciated. Yummy, 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 I got lots of gummy. I think we're going to lay a little more on you and overlap that. So what time is your ring supposed to hit? Well, maybe you're right. Maybe you were. That's what happens when you don't get to talk to people very often. In person. It's kind of an excitement, like an adrenaline, you know? Don't worry about it. Your friend knows you. Your friend cares about you. Your friend likes you. You're allowed to be human around her. Tuesday, Wednesday. We've got some kind of stuff coming in tonight. I haven't looked more closely because the weather's been changing so much with all the tornadoes and stuff. Blue. We don't want blue in there. Alright. We have a lot of black hairs in this one. And that is what happens with natural wool. Even the whitest sheep have some little black hairs in them. And although it's part of the whole natural look, it's not one I'm trying to get right now. I really want my colors to predominate. Oh yeah? Local grown? Although after the storm, who knows? Of course, if you're doing it now, it was harvested already. But nice, good. Sounds like an indigo. Stay there a minute. Ugh. My studio is set up for paint. It's not set up for fiber. Anyway, let's get a... I love the natural raggy looking edges. That's what I'm trying to achieve here. Because this is going to be the flap that goes over the purse. Let's see how we're doing. Yep. Yep, you definitely need some help there. So let's go ahead and add to that. Is it pain relieving? That side looks better. So, strengthen it though, we can't take any chances. I said I don't want anything falling apart while I'm walking down the street, wearing my new purse with my new dress. Stay. Hey now. Ooh, look at you. That looks like a nice fiber right there. Let's get you along the bottom. behave yourself. Oh, good. How's your coffee this morning? smell of coffee in the morning, breakfast cooking, cat in the cat box. Okay, let's take a little. Now this is brand new. I believe it's wool. It turns out to not be wool. I'm going to be pretty upset. All right, let's see what we've got now. right, what'd you get? I have to cut up a chicken into parts to freeze it, so I'll be having chicken tonight. I'm glad you can get them back outside. I'm sure you're very relieved at that. Oh, not you too. Back you go. Back. There's a lot of black fibers running through this wool. That's okay. It's all natural. And that's the cool thing about it. Come back here. What? Okay. Well, if he's not going to show respect, ask to be inspired on what to do next. Yeah, it sounds like he intends to stick around for a while and just be an asshole. You know what his story is? Stares at a tree. Same tree all the time? Most of it the time it's the same tree. I probably would not be able to resist going up to him when he looks okay to approach and ask him what he knows about that tree. I'll just surprise him with an off-the-wall question. He may have an interesting answer. You ever seen anybody talk to them? Homeless people a lot of times take advantage of the fact that people are afraid of them, so they get left alone because they've been left alone too much. They kind of profit from the idea that they're unsafe to be around, and that's how they get left alone. Like, I was sane, but you people made me crazy, and now I'm always interested in people's stories. Unless they look or feel dangerous, I go by what spirit directs. Sometimes says go away, leave them alone, and sometimes it's reach out. Like when I worked in the nursing home, some of those people were just so used to being ignored and nobody hearing them that they just stopped talking. And then when somebody actually sat and talked to them as if they understood, they did. Their eyes would focus and they'd say something, even if you couldn't understand it. They would respond to that personal touch. Because that was inside a facility where, I mean, it was safe. But if you're not real social and you get picked up and they get put away, part of this may be very well like that, Maui. Everybody needs contact, they just don't know how to ask. And they need different things, you know. You can't assume. That's a good idea if you can talk to people. I'm not telling you to do that because you're in a situation where you have to evaluate it in the moment. Maybe a good idea, maybe a bad idea. Some people are better left alone. Well, your cat is definitely, if he gets on your nerves, he's trying to get your attention because he doesn't speak English. Just say, hey, I'm bored. Talk to me, Daddy. Play with me. Do something. When my cats and dogs felt I'd spent too much time on the computer, my dog would come up under my arm and lift my hand off the keyboard so I couldn't type. And my cat would come up and do similar things. Just depended on how aggravated they were. Alright, now my back is starting to really yell at me. Oh, no, don't lift. I like you there. But you're not going to work. Alright, I have to lay down another piece. We want you to be light and airy, with a hint of color, like that. Oh. Yeah, I hope not. But at least you can't come in your house and jump on your head at night. Alright, I need to take a break. Oh, I have been doing this for 2 hours. Okay, so now we know the foundation of the bag took 2 hours to create. That's the foundation. Next is going to come attaching this. But I need to get a pill. My back is not happy. with this position. It's very important that there not be too much water in your felting, because then it just floats. So you need to squeeze the air out so that the fibers can meet. This doesn't look like much, but it's actually working. God bites you. Well, if he does, you're going to need to go to the doctor and the police. Surely he's been around so long, he's been picked up, the police know about him. Your maintenance guy probably knows more. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, I just want a small break, but I really do need to close this out. After we've been on for 2 hours, and I don't think anybody really wants to sit for 2 hours. What time is it? 2:24. All right, I will be back at 3. I'm taking a station break. Okay. That'll give me a chance to charge up my phone too. All right, back in half